Let's go back to when Jeffrey was a teenager. When he was 13 and 14 years old, the bad habits he was doing were just not that consequential. But as he got a little bit older, he started to feel worse. He saw the other kids his age who would prioritize sports and building up their confidence start to excel in their dating lives and in their studies. But Jeffrey, with his video game and porn addiction, started to fall behind. What was once an innocent young boy just enjoying himself now turned into a young man who was embarrassed at how far behind he was to all the other guys his age. Adonis used his teenage years to push himself forward towards developing himself. What's interesting is that he grew a lot, but he also had a lot of fun doing it. He meditated and journaled and read and went to the gym. And if you asked Adonis if he was grateful for these times and if he had fun in his teenage years, he'd tell you yes. Lesson number 1, fun is not fun. When you're growing up, and especially if you want to be more masculine, you have to understand, this is going to sound like crazy and toxic or whatever. Fun is for women and children. When you start taking life and your work seriously, you start to get so much fun and fulfillment from the work, from the grind, from leveling up, that then no fun habit like watching TV and playing video games can compare. Like right now, you've probably been going to the gym for a little while. And if I ask you, like, have you enjoyed that? Has it been fun? You'd say yes, because, you know, I've grown a lot and it's challenged me and I'm really enjoying the progress in my physique. What's interesting is if we recorded you in the gym from, like, you know, the side that you didn't know, you probably wouldn't have been sat there smiling like a psychopath, you know, smiling through every set. But again, if we ask you, were you fulfilled? Did you enjoy the last few months or years of your fitness journey? You'd say yes. Why is it that so many of us think that the hard habits, the good habits, the meditation, the journaling, the gym and business are not really fun? Why is that? Because they actually are. Like the day that you've worked really hard, the day that you went to the gym and you came back and you studied and you worked on the business and you meditated, if we asked you, did you have fun in that day? You'd say, yes, I'm so glad of that day. I enjoyed the day. What's interesting is, you know those bad days that you have, the day where you wake up late, you sleep in, you grab your phone, you scroll, you jack off, you do all the fun habits, you go play video games, you eat junk food, you watch TV. If we ask you, did you enjoy that day? The day full of fun habits? You'd say no. I was actually kind of miserable. I relapsed. I feel kind of gross. My brain is kind of fried. Fun, especially for masculine guys, is not fun. And I can't tell you how many times I've like taken random holidays, taken time off, like all these pussies will tell you to do online who say that you're like overtraining or overworking or hustle culture or whatever. All these people will say this to you, but I'm telling you, if you're a masculine guy, your fun will come from the work. Right now, I'm training 2-3 times a day and I'm having the most fun that I've had in years. For the last few years, I enjoyed the fruits of my labor. I had like 500,000 followers, 1 million followers. I had money, you know, I'm an attractive like young guy, 24, 25 years old. I traveled, I dated, I partied, and I was literally having less fun than I am now when I wake up early and I go to the gym 2-3 times a day. You could call it overtraining, hustle culture, whatever. This is actually more fun. There's more self-respect. There's more fulfillment in the hard graft, like the grind that we get on. Any guy who's been on self-improvement, who has a bit more of like a masculine personality, will actually tell you like it's actually really fun to work hard all day. And those moments where you don't work hard, where you're just grabbing your phone and you're relaxing and you're watching fucking YouTube videos, maybe even like this one, and you're watching TV or playing video games, you're doing the fun habits, but you don't really feel like you're having that much fun because something clicks. And it's probably happened to you, and if it's not happened to you, it will happen soon. Something clicks and you get out of like boy psychology. You start realizing like, what am I doing? Honestly, playing video games, watching TV, what am I doing? It's not that fun. And it is quite consequential because the best version of you isn't sat down doing that. Now, if you wanted like, you know, pussy propaganda for me to say like, yeah, bro, take time off, you wouldn't be watching these videos. You wouldn't be watching me, right? You would go watch some guy who's like a little coward, skinny neck, and you know, he confidently says like, yeah, like I don't mind not being like great at anything. Like being average isn't even that bad. I see people comment that and it fucking sickens me. I literally saw like a comment once saying like, oh yeah, Hamza says that like being average is a bad thing, but it's not, it's normal. I was like, what the fuck? What kind of young man thinks like that where they're like, yeah, like I don't mind being average? Fuck that. Stay away from me. If you're watching this, you don't want to hear pussy propaganda. You don't want to hear skinny neck propaganda. You wanted the hard message, which is that your enjoyment in life is completely tied to how much you respect yourself because of how hard you've worked. This does not mean necessarily just on business or career or on money, but just how hard you've worked in whatever area of life that you really care about right now, whether that's fitness or mental health or physical health or, you know, some challenge you've set yourself up, like you've got a bodybuilding competition or a powerlifting competition or your business or your studies, whatever it is. When you really have felt like you are really going hard on that and you're really making a lot of progress, that's when your experience of life just feels like it's fun and enjoyable 24/7. You don't need the stimulation, you don't need the highs, you're just having fun 24/7 constantly. That is the real fun, and it brings us to lesson number 2. Discipline is the fun. Fun does not come from the bad habits. That's like a psyop that we have been brainwashed to believe that porn, video games, TV, all this bullshit, this bakwas, this haram shit, we've been brainwashed to believe that that's fun, and it's not. The junk food is not fun. The porn, the video games, anime, TV shows, all this fucking bullshit, this stuff that you know is bad for you, this is not fun. The fun is in the discipline. The fun is in waking up early. The fun is in choosing a goal, a craft, whether it's a sport or a business or a career or whatever it is, and making more and more progress and realizing more about yourself, about learning things that you find interesting, things that you're curious about. That's where the fun comes in from. The period of your life where you lock in and you really go hard in one goal, like maybe it's fitness, that's the period of life that you'll look back to and think, yeah, that was an enjoyable period of life. But the time that you spend in this fun mode, oh, you know, I've got 2 weeks off from school, I'm just gonna play some games, you're not gonna look back and be like glad for those periods. You're not gonna look back and say, yeah, that was an enjoyable period of time. I just had this like about a month ago. I went to Thailand to see my friend Sam, and I went for like a week with the girl I was seeing, and for like a week, I'm not gonna lie to you, like I just basically was on holiday mode, just degenerate, you know what I mean? Nothing too crazy, but I was like eating junk food, and you know, I went to the gym like twice. It was like a week off. Most people would think, oh, that's awesome. For 1 week, I flew over business class. I stayed in a fancy villa. I went to restaurants every single day, delicious food, like unhealthy, you know, like desserts and whatever food that I usually wouldn't eat. And I just got to like hang out with my friends. In Thailand, weed is illegal, so I smoked a bunch of weed there as well, you know, like laughing and stuff, whatever, right? If you ask me, did you enjoy that week? I'd tell you, fuck no. I actually felt kind of depressed to the point that I was about to book a flight out earlier, because doing these bad habits, they are not the fun. Imagine the version of me if for 1 week I went there and I trained Muay Thai for 2 or 3 hours a day. Imagine that version of me that was waking up and swimming in the ocean. I was meditating and doing breath work and yoga every day. Those habits are harder. They require discipline. But if you then asked me, did I enjoy that week where I was doing the Muay Thai and stuff? I would have said yes. Like I am right now. Like right now I'm training really, really hard. I'm working hard. I'm staying disciplined. I'm not doing any of the fun habits, and I'm actually having more fun. So the first 2 lessons that I wish I could pass on to you if you're younger than me: reframe what you think fun is. I swear to God, there's some weird brainwashing where our generation of men have been convinced that poison, like things that are bad for us, are the fun things, but they're just logically not. If you're still someone who watches like anime or TV shows or movies or plays video games, I invite you to do an action step, which I probably know you're not going to do, no offense, because you're probably just like a lazy little bitch. But if you did this just once, I promise you would literally quit whatever addiction you have, even though you say it's not an addiction. You know what it is? Get your phone, set it on to record a video, and just put it somewhere that it'll record your face whilst you do the fun habit, the porn, the video games, whatever. Just do that. You're about to go play some video games or watch some TV, whatever. Set your phone on record your face as you do it. Try and forget that your phone's recording after a few minutes. Watch the video. What you're gonna see is a guy who is not having fun. Imagine that, right? If you're not gonna do the action step, just imagine that. You're recording yourself watching anime, or you're recording yourself watching a movie, or playing video games, or watching porn, or eating junk food. What you're gonna see is like your face just like this, with a little bit of a laugh. That's what you're gonna see. That's not fucking fun. The face of fun is a guy who's like smiling, who's laughing. That's not you when you're doing these bad habits. We logically know this. You can visualize this right now. If you recorded yourself doing that, you would not actually actually think you were having fun. If you like, we gave that video clip to like a random 10,000 people around the world and said, is this person having fun? Most of them would say, no, he's not. Now here's the thing. Imagine we recorded a clip of you sparring, doing some hard shit, right? So you're getting literally punched in the face. Think about that. Think about how extreme this was on the other side. You're getting punched in the face and you're learning at the same time. You're trying to throw some hits. Now imagine if we recorded your face during that. Like there's some clips of me and it's like, yeah, sure, you're focused, you're in the zone, but you'll notice that there's like little bits of heightened energy where you're smiling, you're laughing, you're hugging your partner that you've just been sparring with. If we then showed that clip and said, is this person having fun? A lot of people would say yes, even though you weren't necessarily smiling, like a psychopath when you're getting hit in the face. But you could see moments where there was quite like excited energy coming out. You can see that it's good for you. It's a challenge. Men grow through challenge. One of the biggest mistakes that I've made in the last few years, where I feel like I've fallen off a lot of these habits, business, everything, was that I started to listen to these pussies and I started to optimize for fun and enjoyment and relaxation and peacefulness in my life. And I'm telling you, as someone who's just done this, it's actually not even that lit, bro. It's really not that lit to optimize for like fun and enjoyment. Instead, what I'm doing now is optimizing for self-respect. Optimize for the life that you would respect yourself the most. And that life is going to come through challenge. It's going to come from you doing shit that scares you. Stuff that if you think about it when you're trying to go to sleep, you'll almost like jolt awake because of the heightened energy of like how difficult the thing is that you're trying to do. For me, that's recently been going into kickboxing and I'm really enjoying it. It's so challenging. It's like the hardest period of my life for the last few years is right now. And people have noticed this about me. Like there was a girl who I met months ago and she saw me again recently and she said like, I look so much happier. And the same girl actually said this to me, like we did some kickboxing and she goes, I respect you. Another girl just on FaceTime yesterday, she says, I'm proud of you. These are other people's opinions and your own opinion of yourself is more important, but it's fucking nice having people, especially women, who say things like, I'm proud of you, I respect you. And I'm telling you right now, no girls were saying this to me a few months ago when I was in like the fun period of my life. The fun is not fun. Please keep that in mind. It's the discipline that's fun. Lesson number 3 is ego is the enemy. I have this software on my computer called Notion. It's kind of like a note-taking software, kind of like iPhone notes, but it's a bit more organized, right? And I saw a page from 2022 that was titled Accomplishment Reminders. And first of all, let me just pre-frame this. You've probably seen that my YouTube channel doesn't get the same amount of views, my businesses went down and everything. I've fallen off self-improvement hard, right? If you asked me, Hamza, when did you first start falling off? You know what date I'd tell you? June 2022. And you know why? Because that's when I went to Thailand on this trip where like it was basically the first kind of big trip that I went on when I was starting to build success. And that's when I was first started to really do a bunch of this kind of like relaxing, fun, not grinding as hard. And I started to like, have too much pride for the achievements that I had built up, not for the hard work that I did, right? I started to basically, I saw this page. This is why it's cringe and it's funny, right? This page was titled Accomplishment Reminders and it was literally made in June 2022. And I knew what it was when I clicked on it. There was a list of hundreds of bullet points, basically of me just hyping myself up. You're the best speaker in the world and you're so muscular and this girl likes you and this one, like, just like points about like accomplishments, like things that I was kind of proud of. It was just me sucking my like guac 3000ing my own dick, basically. I at the time thought that was valuable. I was hyping myself up, I was feeling good about myself, but I actually believe that was the start of my downfall. It was over 2 years ago. I still, from that point when I made that document, I still basically doubled my YouTube subscribers, my success and everything for the next 6 months. But how falling off works is shit happens in the background whilst you're still kind of like gaining success, then it quickly plummets. And I think this is what happened to me and I want you to avoid this. When you get a little bit of success, it's so easy for you to start to delude yourself and tell yourself a story that you are amazing, you are this, you're such a great speaker, you are like your physique's amazing, whatever. I actually don't think that helps you. What would help you more is having respect and admiration, not for yourself, but for the particular habits that got you there. So instead of me writing like, yeah, you're the best speaker of this generation, you're like a leader and whatever, I should have wrote like, you've read a lot of books on leadership. You've practiced that skill. Instead of me writing like, oh, this girl wants you and you fuck this girl and you fuck this girl, you're an alpha male Chad, and these were the kind of things. It's kind of cringe, but you're like hyping yourself up, right? I thought that was going to be a good thing. I should have wrote more like, oh, you behaved correctly with this girl. This girl was attracted to you because of the thousands of workouts that you have done. Do you see the difference? One is kind of like telling yourself like you are just naturally, you are so amazing. And the other one is less speaking about you and more about the particular good habit that you had committed yourself to. So instead of me saying like, oh yeah, I'm an amazing entrepreneur, I should have said, I meditate 60 minutes a day. That's amazing. Do you see the difference there? Because what happened around this time, I fell off all the habits that actually built up this success in the first place. And I think I fell off them because I started to sell myself the story that I didn't really need them, that they didn't really make that much of a difference, that missing a workout wasn't really that important because my physique was already amazing, that missing a day of meditation wasn't really that important because I was already a mindful, present guy. And you know how this is going to end up. Within a few months, it's like you've lost a lot of the personality, the reward of these habits, as you deserve to. So for a long time, I used to preach on my channel, yeah, be more arrogant, and like humbleness is for pussies. If you look at the definition of humble, it is still fucked in my opinion. It's having a low view of yourself. I don't think that's still a good thing. But I like to use the word humility. Humility is having a student mindset and realizing you still always have a very long way to go before you've like mastered something. Very long. That's mastering something is like a 10, 20, 30 year goal. When you have humility, you are destroying the ego because you're reminding yourself, I'm nowhere close to my potential. That's when you start to respect the good habits like waking up early and meditating and the cold showers way more. All this time I was like hyping myself up, fucking guacking my own dick saying I'm amazing. And I didn't realize that was actually shortening my success. To prolong your success when it first starts to show up, keep the student mindset. Make sure you don't let it get to your head and then, you silently start falling off the habits and traits and skills that was building the success in the first place. Avoid that and you'll avoid the massive like falling off period that I've just been through. I still have high hopes for the future. Like now I really feel like I'm really working hard again for the first time in years. So we'll see what happens. And obviously you can like watch from the distance and see what happens to me now that I'm kind of implementing more of the habits that originally got me the success in the first place. Just staying like a student of the game. Life lesson number 4, university is a scam. Now I'll probably sound like one of those online influencer gurus who are saying this and then telling you to buy my $1,000 course instead. I don't really sell a course. I have one product, no upsells, and it's $100. It's like an online school where you get teachers and stuff. It's not really a course. You get my point. University, I do genuinely believe is like an absolutely malicious, manipulative scam. For 1% of people who go to university, it's actually quite high ROI. They go and they study and get a degree that they need for the career that they want, like a surgeon, like a vet, like a therapist. You need the degree? Fair enough. But it seems to me like 90% of the people who are going to university have no fucking idea why they're even going, other than just they have no balls and their parents basically force them to go. So rather than having an uncomfortable conversation with their parents, they just say, oh, okay, I'll just go for only 3 years and massive debt anyway. It's actually fucked that an 18-year-old can sign up for so much debt, and it's actually so socially reinforced. And I am so glad to see the downfall of traditional education system and the increase of online education. University is absolutely a brutal scam. And I won't try and explain it too much more because there's people who basically will agree with that, people who won't agree. What I will say to you is what I said to my friend yesterday. Anyone who doesn't agree with that, particularly, the kind of guys who say like, oh yeah, but like Hamza's a scammer, they'll say stuff like that, like, oh yeah, but this guy's a scammer, this online stuff is all a scam. They will eat their words in about 12 months. When it really hits them, like that's actually like the best way to make money. And it's actually quite purposeful because yeah, sure, someone can go to business university and get a degree from some guy who doesn't even have a business and pay tens of thousands of dollars and take years for that. Or you could join my online school, come on a call with me and I'll look at your YouTube channel and I'll tell you what to do to get more views. And that's $100 and we'll get you results today. I've been called a scammer so many times and we all know why. It's just low intelligence people who don't really see the cultural shift what's happening. A scam is if you're selling a product and for example, someone puts their card details in and you charge them like 5 times as much as you said you would. Or they put their card details in and then it's just like a broken website. There's nothing there. They don't don't get access to what they've bought. That's a scam. Honestly, scams are actually kind of rare these days. It's very rare that someone sells a product that isn't what it said it was. Change the word scam to like, oh, not good. You know, if someone said, oh, Hamza, your product's not good, I would have to sit there and be like, oh, okay, fair enough. Why is it not good? Please give me some feedback. But the people who say like, oh yeah, it's a scam and you should just go get advice from someone who's got real qualifications like a business degree, I'm like, what the fuck? That's so outdated. There's basically no reason to go to university for 99 out of 100 people. There's no reason, particularly for women as well, going to study some bullshit social sciences, gender studies bullshit, for guys going to study like, you know, just some bullshit course that's not even gonna help you. And then saying like, oh, but you know, it's a backup option. No, motherfucker, no. Your backup option is Uber. It's Deliveroo. It's like something that you can set up today and start making $10 an hour. That's the backup option. Your backup option is not something that takes 3 years and tons of debt to start. That's not a backup option. That's like your fucking plan A. Plan A should be doing something that's fulfilling and purposeful, but also gives you a fuck ton of money and freedom, which is gonna be an online business. And if you really have like the passion, the purpose for a specific career, like being a surgeon, by all means go ahead. I actually think like I promote getting a degree for the people who actually need it for their dream career. But the problem with university is most people who are going don't even have a clear dream career anyway. They're just going because their parents are pressuring them. Instead, if you don't know what to do right now, consider just picking a goal like of something that you've, you know, thought of that would be good to make money. So maybe it's online, it's like influencer stuff, it's, you know, teaching fitness to people, whatever kind of field you like. So it might be fitness or chess or whatever. And you just make content about that and you just teach it to people. And the thing is, you can do that for free, but then if you really want to make faster progress, that's when you invest in a program where someone has made, and you know, it seems kind of scammy, but it's like my program's $100 and you get access to like William Brown, who's made over 10 million. He lives in Dubai. He's like a big entrepreneur. We have Dr. Anthony Shafee, who's like a legit fucking doctor, and my students come on and ask him for testosterone advice and diet advice. And then we have me and Jack Piggott. I've got 2 million subscribers. He's got 1 million. And our students come on, show us their YouTube channels, and we give them advice on what they should do, like, you know, on how to improve their channels. And we also do like self-improvement coaching. For $100, you get access to all of that. Think about that compared to £9,000 a year where you get access to some bloated coffee breath professor who doesn't even have a fucking business in the first place, who's just running off some slides. You don't show him your business and get feedback from him. You just sit there, listen to him yap, memorize a little bit of it, and then write an exam. So university is well and truly a scam for the 99% of people. Lesson number 4, lift weights. I started lifting when I was 17 years old, and it changed my life forever. It gave me a sense of purpose. It gave me discipline and consistency, and it also just made me look sexy, which is really powerful in the modern day when you are quite judged on your physique and your appearance. It was the number one thing that I did for my dating and sex life, and it's basically was the number one reason why I didn't stay as like a lonely little virgin. So it was very beneficial. I just wish that I started it earlier. If I started it when I was like 13 years old and I put more discipline into it, I would have made progress even faster. Chances are, if you're watching this, you've already started going into the gym, and so that's awesome. If you haven't already, basically any excuse that you have, like, oh, you're not ready yet, you don't know what workout routine, you'll start soon in the future, all of it's bullshit. If you have a pair of balls, you go get the gym membership literally right now. Like, you pause this video, you search gyms near me on Google, you find one on the map, and you walk towards it literally within 10 minutes. Like, you stop being a little bitch, you want this video to help you, you put on some clothes, you go walk towards that gym right now. If you haven't got a membership yet and you haven't started. If you have started, awesome. What I'll just tell you is this is like a high level thing, so this might not be relevant to you for a few years, but try and remember this, okay? I've had periods where after I've made like, you know, a bunch of muscle, I kind of like lose the desire for it. So imagine you go to the gym for like a year, 2 years. You've got like a pretty okay physique, not massive, not where you want it to be, but something clicks and you almost get a little bit complacent and you're like, oh yeah, that's fine. I don't actually need more muscle now. Like, more muscle's not gonna change my life. I get into some periods like that, and I'm telling you right now, for like a couple of months I kind of slow down, I won't train as much. I always regret those periods. I think life as a man, as like a masculine man, is supposed to be just a constant just war zone, constant just work. Not just in business, but just in whatever goal means a lot for you. It can even be in cute things like mental health and spirituality and whatever. So if you're already in the gym right now, what I would suggest to you is stay aware for the times that you lose a lot of desire for more fitness and you're saying like, oh yeah, I'm already big enough, it's not going to change my life. Because I said that when I wasn't big enough. I said it and I didn't realize it, but it was just like laziness creeping in. The same way that you hear the voice in your mind that tells you to like watch porn or whatever, and it tells you to eat the junk food. The same voice will tell you like, oh yeah, skip the gym, you don't need to like build that much muscle. Girls like the TikTok boy physique anyway. It's not about that. Like, looks maxing is awesome, but it's about achieving your fucking potential and maximizing self-respect. That's what it is. And you'll know when you're maximizing self-respect, and you'll know when you're just slacking and being a little bit complacent, saying like, oh yeah, and this will give me space so I can focus on something else, which is usually just fucking bullshit. Like, that's the way I cope. The lesson is lift, don't stop lifting. Visualize yourself as like an 80-year-old who's still lifting weights, who's still going to the gym, being social in there, in incredible shape, incredible strength. Lesson number 6 is absolutely no porn, including softcore sexual content, which is on like Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, all of this like degenerate stuff. So of course, never watch porn again, like the full-on like guy fucking girl video clip. Never watch that again. It's just disgusting. But also stay away from like these thirst trap girls. The girls who post pictures and they've got cleavage, or like the picture is like her ass is out, or these girls who are doing like TikTok dances and they're like showing their butt and stuff. Stay away from all of that. It really fucks up your mind. And it's weird. It's like it turns your normal natural horniness as a guy, which is just completely normal and healthy, into something which is more like goblin-like. It makes you feel kind of shameful for the erection that you get, for like that sort of sexual energy. And imagine like associating and coupling your natural sexual energy with a sense of like shame and disappointment and guilt. That's actually awful, right? Bro, in the future when you have a wife, imagine if this is still a problem for you. Imagine if you're that husband who like sneaks off to the bathroom to go watch videos of other girls to jerk off to them. You don't want to be that guy. You want to be that guy who you have the most amazing fucking animalistic sex life with your woman, and that's more than satisfactory for you. You don't want to have this fucking weird dopamine need to watch video clips of other guys fucking the girls that you're attracted to. So now's the time to really wage war on this and to start cutting it out. But the particular point I wanted to teach for this lesson was, it's not just the official porn, it's all of the sexual content. It's the girl who's like, she's like making herself look too sexy on Instagram. It's the girl who's shaking her ass on TikTok. It's the girl who sends you like kind of sexual pictures on Snapchat. All of it is just sexualizing your brain too much. Like, your brain should be sexualized, right? Your brain should be sexual. You should get random erections through the day. But that should be about real women. Like, you should walk past like a woman who's hot, take a glance at her and kind of like, feel kind of like nice. Oh yeah, she's really hot. Okay, sweet. That's normal. That's natural. But you shouldn't be going somewhere and thinking about the porn clip you watched yesterday and the girl that you follow on Instagram that you've never met, that you're never gonna met, and she's getting deep-throated by some other guy, but you're watching pictures of her, like her ass or some shit like that. That doesn't make you feel good. That doesn't make you respect yourself more. I'll give you like something here, right? Because a lot of guys are addicted to this. Definitely never watch like actual porn again. But if you feel like you need to progressively deload, I would understand that. So if you're going from like watching porn clips where, a guy's fucking a girl, reduce that down to like just some tame thing of like a woman who's taking her clothes off in a sexy way. Reduce that down to like just a picture of an attractive girl. That, you're like kind of taking less of the drug. You're taking like a healthier version of it. You're taking less and less and less. It's kind of like, slowly increasing the weight on bench press. You don't just shoot it up to like super, super heavy weight that you can't lift. That's like kind of getting onto nofap and saying, yep, I'm never going to fap ever again, even though you have like an addiction. And of course, you're going to jack off in like 2 days. You're going to relapse and feel bad about yourself. So often I've found that like slowly, progressively deloading how stimulating the kind of porn is actually the way to go forward. And so just start taking steps back. Instead of the full-length random videos, it's like a picture. At least you're making some progress there. The final lesson that I would give to teenagers who are watching this, especially if you want to become more masculine, dominant, and disciplined, is to get into martial arts. I was always kind of into it. Like when I was in university, I went boxing, and then when I graduated and I started YouTube in like 2021, I went to kickboxing in my hometown. Then when I started to travel, I started to do like Muay Thai in Thailand and stuff, and nothing like super serious or anything, but just like fucking around here and there. What I will say is, when I was younger, if I did go more consistently and I just chose one sport and I got good at it, I think that would have increased my life quality dramatically. You make friends with guys who are quite masculine and disciplined, and they're a lot like more Chad like attractive, disciplined, kind of strong guys than the losers that you meet mates who are doing like video games and anime and whatever. So you start to fit in with a better circle of guys. And also you're doing some competitive thing that brings out like the masculine energy inside of you. Like if there's one thing that just brings masculine energy, it's challenge. And if there's one challenge that you could have in your life, it's just sparring. Sparring is when you basically do like more of a friendly fight in the martial arts sport that you've been practicing. So the way to start this is go search like martial arts near me, boxing near me, kickboxing near me, MMA near me. Go search all of that on Google and just take the step to go to the first class. There's a lot of friction. Like so many guys will kind of think about this for years. They'll kind of look at the website of like some gym nearby, but they just won't go. If you are an action taker, you're a guy with like a metaphorical big fucking dick and you're ready to actually change your life, you do that action step. You show up to the fucking gym today or tomorrow. Done. Ready for the class. Just go. Because there's a version of you that's literally going to think about this for a year first, like a pussy. And there's a version of you that will be in the martial arts gym tonight or tomorrow. That version of you is going to fucking dominate. That's what I want from you. If you do that, you can send me a message on Instagram that you got there and you took action with this. Subscribe to this channel. Links in the description if you want to see some stuff that I sell and some stuff I have for free. Do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. Mwah.